up, Kicking and Record Squad? We are back with another video, y'all. So,
I meant to say postpartum.
1 week postpartum video. And I want to give you guys a little update on everything that happened. It's been 7 days since I posted a video, y'all. I think the last video was me at the hospital, and they took my baby to the NICU. I'm going to discuss a little bit more of that because I really didn't get into details with that. But this video right here, it is going to be a recap of everything that transpired last week. So, as y'all know, I took the castor oil. I would say okay, so I'm saying that I won't do it again, but I don't know. I can't say I won't do it again. But my decision right now is I won't do it again because I'm noticing different things. I'll get into that too. But so I took the castor oil last Friday, and I went into active labor like really, really fast. Actually, I took it Thursday and Friday. I went into labor fast. I really didn't have time to fully process everything because, like I said, that Friday I took it, it just sped everything up so fast. So it's like I was in pain, and I was not my brain was just out of it. Like I was not in the zone at all. Like I was out. So got to the hospital. They checked me. I was dilated 4 centimeters. Okay, boom. They admitted me. Once they admitted me, I was at 7. Once I went to the other room, I was at 7. So they considered that as active labor at 6. Then after 7, boom, I was at 9. So I got my epidural when I was 7. Yeah, when I was like about 7 centimeters dilated, finally got my epidural. Got it, boom, could really feel the contractions. That my epidural hurt it, y'all. Like it hurt. I remember my first 2 times getting epidural, it was like a smooth sailing. This one, feel like he didn't I'm not gonna say he didn't know what he was doing, but it hurt. So, let's see. Once I got to 9 centimeters, it was go time. Like, I didn't even feel a contraction. I just knew I had to push. And I was like, I got to push. They was like, if you feel like you got to push, push. So I pushed. Ooh, I felt it. Okay, pushed again. Pushed again. I pushed 4 times, y'all. I could have only pushed. Ooh. I'm sorry, I'm getting a cramp. I could have only pushed 3 times. But, so as they, like, the baby head, okay, at this point, the baby head is coming out, right? So now it's just, like, the body part that they got to wiggle as I'm pushing out, right? So as I'm pushing that 3rd push, I just feel like a disconnect, like something just, like, it just felt so, I don't know, and it was painful. So, like, that 4th push, I just pushed with all my might. And then, like, the pulling out feeling of the baby and everything just coming on out felt so weird to me. But, so when she came out, they did have to give her oxygen, but not too much, just to, to help her, like when she came out, she did cry on her own. She cried, but then she was started to lose a little oxygen. She, So they put on a little oxygen machine. I was just worried, like, what's going on? Why she need oxygen? They was like, she's fine. She got a perfect heartbeat. Everything looks good. She just needed help just breathing on her own a little bit. So I'm not even paying attention to them talking about me. I'm focused on my daughter. I'm like, Marquise, go over there. Go over there and see what they're talking about. Go over there and see how she doing, what she look like. Take a picture. Like, I was just, going through so much. So then it was like, damn. I'm like, did the castor oil You know, I'm thinking of all these things, like, did the castor oil make her, have to get oxygen? Or I was thinking, like, my main thing was, I was really crying because I felt like I should have had a C-section. I was like, did I make a wrong decision in not having a C-section? Like, is that why she can't breathe? Like, I was just, like, making up anything that, like, I feel like I could have did something differently. Like, I was, like, kind of beating myself up, at the same time, like, dang, I should have had a C-section. Like, maybe this wouldn't happen if I had a C-section. Because, as y'all know, I was previously supposed to have a C-section, but once I got to the hospital and the nurses and doctors was talking to me, they was like, just because you had a C-section doesn't mean that you always have to have a C-section. She was like, when you had your C-section, was it because of health issues and this and that? I was like, no, it was like an emergency C-section. Like, I was going vaginally, but I had to have an emergency C-section because by the time the doctor got back to me, my water was gone. I was dried out. My baby was ready to come out. And by the time we tried to push, both of our heart rates were dropping. So she was like, no, that's not no reason for you to keep having C-section. So she was like, you could try vaginal. And if it doesn't work, then we could go to C-section. So I'm like, okay, I want to go, I want to try vaginal because less, like, healing I will have to do. And then I'll have to get cut open again. And then worry about that scar tissues and things in that sort. So I was just like, I asked Marquise, like, what should we do? Because at the end of the day, this is his child too. So I wanted to make sure, he was on board and, how he felt about the decision. So he was like, let's just try vaginal. So I'm like, okay. Now my doctor did tell me that I could go vaginal. I could have the baby vaginal, but he also told me that it was a 2% chance that she might die. If y'all watch my doctor videos, y'all will see me telling y'all about this. But he said it's a 2% chance that she might pass away, this and that, and I'll have to still do emergency C-section. So, I was just like, I'd rather not put her through all that if she could just get her out. So that's why I ended up having a vaginal delivery, because I went to the hospital and they told me I was able to have one. So now it don't put a limit on how many kids I can have. But then I talked to one doctor. She was just like, I have somebody that had 5 C-sections and they're still doing good. Because y'all know they say the max is 3 with a C-section. But, so that's that. Then, so after the birth, we moved down to our room where we staying at. My baby is beautiful, y'all. She smile. She don't really cry like that unless she's hungry. But other than that, she do not cry. Okay, so we downstairs, right? And I'm just like still sunken everything in. Like, I just really had a baby. Like, it was like a lot of emotions, going through my head at the time, and it just felt so unreal, but like my mommy mode definitely switched, like turned on so fast. Like, it's a little stuff that I gotta relearn, far as like, a child, as a baby, as a newborn. My kids are bigger now, so it's like some things I still have to learn. But my daughter had to go to the NICU. She had jaundice. I think I'm pronouncing it right. Basically, is dealing with the cells, and basically when she was born, so when she was created, she had too many cells, right? So usually when the baby is born, some of the cells will, go away. But she still had a lot of cells left in her when she was born. So she became like orange, like her face was orange and things, and like things in that sort. Okay, like I was saying, my bad, I'm sorry. So she was orange, and I didn't know, what it was. So they came, they drew her blood, and the doctor, like, I understand doctors, like, they have to, say certain stuff, but it's just like some doctors, they be making it sound like it's the end of the world, y'all. Like, the way the doctor explained it to me, the first doctor, he made it seem like it was the end of the world for my daughter, and like me processing that information was like, I couldn't process it, because I was like, the things that he was saying was just like, what, like, what caused this, like, why she has it, like, so so when she was a newborn, so they poked her little heel, and they draw blood, which is they test for the Rubin, something like that, Rubin, whatever. They test for that. And it needs to be lower than, as a newborn, it should be low. They want to see hers lower than a 9.2. So basically what they do is, and then another thing before I go into this. So he tells me that, and then tell me, yeah, so your baby got to go to NICU, and we have to take her. And I'm like, mind y'all, I just had her not even 24 hours. Like, I just literally just had her. They took her. I feel like they took my heart, y'all. I feel like they just ripped my heart out my chest, like, and just let me just roll over. That's how, I did not want my daughter to leave my side, like. So, y'all, I was crying. So, if y'all see the last video before this, when I was in the hospital, I said my kids here, they took her. The reason why, all right, so, I forgot where I left off at, but I'm going to start right here. So, that one video I showed y'all, I was crying. That's why I didn't flip the camera around, because I was emotional. So, I had to do something to still get, to show, like, for my kids won't see, something is going on. Especially with the baby, because they loved her. So, I had to pull out the camera and talk to them and things of that sort. Just to keep my, my spirits high too. Because like I said, I was very down and like beating myself up. I thought the castor oil had something to do with it. But it actually doesn't. Actual castor oil actually helps it. That what I read online. Don't take my word for it. For something I just read online. But so basically it's not like it wasn't like it wasn't like a life-threatening thing for her. So when they first drew hers, she was at 10. And their only concern was that she was at 10 and she was only she was like new, you know what I'm saying? So it was like usually around the second or third, like the first, around the second or third day that they was born, they usually be like at a 10. But for hers to be so high, and she was just born, not even, like I said, 24 hours ago, it was like a concern with them. So they took my baby to NICU. So I was asking him, like, well, can I come, can I come with her? He was like, yeah. I said, well, what is the, visiting hours? He was like, I'm not sure. But I can ask for you, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay. So, he's like, well, I'm about to send a nurse in here to come get her. And I'm like, okay, but I wasn't thinking like soon as he walked out, she walking in type of thing. I'm thinking I still got time with my daughter to love on her, to pray over her while she goes upstairs. So, and then mind you, I stayed in the hospital by myself. Marquise didn't stay with me because he still had to work and he had the kids. So, he wasn't, I mean, my mom had the kids too, but he wasn't able to stay with me because he had to work. So I'm just like, now mind you, they left. Now that the baby gone, they gone. It's just me in the room. And I'm just busting down, crying, like beating myself up. Y'all, when I say I beat myself up so bad, I literally beat myself up so bad. So I called a nurse. I said, can you give me a wheelchair to go to the NICU? They're like, okay, we call it transport. I'm like, okay. 10 minutes go by, 30 minutes go by, an hour go by. I'm on the phone with my mama like, I can't wait this long. Like, I hear my baby crying. I want to go see her. Even though I didn't hear my baby crying, I just felt like she was crying for me. So I was like, I got to go see her. I got to go see her. And I was like, if I even got to walk, I will go walk and see her. So I called the front desk back like, hey, how long on that transport? And she was like, we still waiting for it. I was like, well, how far is the walk? And she was like, she's like, it's far, but it's not that far. So I'm like, okay. So she told me to take the elevator up to the 3rd floor. Boom, boom, boom. I see NICU. So I'm like, okay. I walked. I'm like, they want me to walk anyway, so I'm about to go ahead and walk. So I walked out the labor and delivery area, took the elevators up to the triage labor and delivery, not labor and delivery, but the triage for labor and delivery. Like if you're about to go into labor or something, you got to go to triage first. So I went up there and I'm like, oh, this is where I was just at. That first room I was at, I passed that, and then like the NICU was right there. So I went into there, and I was able to see my baby. And when I seen her, they had her under a blue light with glasses on, with like the little band, and I couldn't stop crying, y'all. I couldn't stop crying. Like when I say I had like I'm about to cry now. When I say I had like the most snotty nose, like I was like it was terrible. Like my whole mask was soaking wet. Cause like I did not want to see her through this. Whew. Okay. So like my second son, he had RSV, and seeing the way he looked when he came out and what he had to go through, I didn't want any of my kids to go through any more, situations when they're brought into this life. And to see her go through it, I'm just like, what am I doing to my kids? Like, I was just really just beating myself up. Like, this cannot be happening. Like, why? So I was talking to the lady and she was like, this has nothing to do with you. This has nothing to do with anything. She was like, this is something that's common. And I was like, well, how long do this, just take? And she was like, it could take up to 72 hours or to a week. And I'm like, I don't have a week. I don't have 72 hours. So, she explained everything to me. So basically, if your child does have jaundice, what they do is they do a little light therapy. And that's what the blue light comes in. So it was like the baby be naked with a diaper on, and they just let the light shine on their back and on their stomach and everything else. And what the light therapy do is take those extra cells away that she doesn't need. So that was the first night she stayed in NICU. When I say y'all, I didn't get no sleep because I was like, every feeding I would go up to the NICU, every feeding, have my alarm set, every feeding. I'll go up there and I stay for like about an hour or two until they say, Mama, go downstairs and get some sleep. You sleepy, go downstairs. When I'm like, okay, like I could sleep peacefully when I'm in the room with her. Like when I was in the NICU, I could go to sleep in that little chair. When I went downstairs, it did not feel right leaving my daughter upstairs and I'm downstairs like. So I couldn't sleep. Like I would literally stay up until it was time for her next feeding. And mind y'all, in the hospital, they do every 3 hours. So, and I did that for 2 days. because they kept her 3 days. I did that for 2 days. So the second night, I did the same thing. Boom, 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 boom. Now, by this time, they trying to, discharge me from the hospital. And I'm like, I don't want to get discharged until my baby get discharged because I want to be able to come and see her. They was like, you come see her anytime. I said, no, I don't want to drive there and come back and drive and come back. Like, I want to be able to stay with her. If y'all tell me she about to get discharged, let me just stay one more night with her. So, come to find out, they already had let me stay an extra night, which was that second day that she was in the NICU. I probably went home that day, but they let me stay with her. So I thank them for that. But what am I about to say? So she's in there. So lady like kind of just showing. She's like, just start pumping your breast, like start pumping some milk, whatever. So she gave me the breast pump. I'm hooked up to the machine and trying to keep myself from not thinking too much. So then after that, okay, so boom, like I said, my baby, Billy Ribbon, one of them, was at a 10, right, when they first poked her. Then when they poked her again, she was at a 8. So mind you, now she's under the light therapy. So when they poked her under the light therapy, she was at an 8. Then they poked her again, she was at a 7. And then, boom, it was time for her to go home, right? The second day, it was time for her to go home. And so the doctors came in, the nurses came in, and they was like, well, we tested her blood, and she was like, they was like her blood cell should be in a flat surface, and it's a few of them that's in a circle. So they want to take care of that. So I'm like, okay. And there's like, well, we're going to keep her one more night so we can check that out in the morning and do her Billy Ribbon again to see where she's at, to see if she can go home. So I'm like, okay. I'm not trying to rush them. I'm like, I might as well, I talked to my mom and I was just like, you know what? It's best that she is in here right now. She's getting the care that she needs before she come home. And I was like, I'd rather for her to have it here than being at home and panic and then, it'd be too late, whatever. So I'm like, okay, I calmed down. I went home that night. My friend came over. She comforted me to like the next morning. Probably like till like about 12 or 1. Maybe 1 o'clock-ish. She comforted me. I did not sleep at all that night. Like I could not sleep. I called the hospital every feeding to check on her, see how much she ate. Oh, that's another thing to watch out. So with Jaundice, I feel like I'm saying this word so wrong, so please forgive me, y'all. But so with that condition, the baby sleeps a lot. The baby barely eats because it's always sleeping. So it's like, you don't know if the baby get enough food or not. And it was so crazy because one of my nurses came in and she was like, are you feeding your baby? And I'm like, yeah, I'm feeding her. She was like, is she latching on? She doing this and that? And I'm like, yeah, she latching on, but she's not really taking care, taking to the form. I'm hop back into the other stuff. But I'm like, she's not taking it. I'm like, she's not taking the formula pretty well. And she's like, because she look orange. And I was like, I'm feeding my baby. I got a little, I got a little agitated because she kept like saying I wasn't feeding her. And I'm like, I am feeding her. So when I finally figured out what orange meant, I was like, oh, that's why she keeps saying, keep feeding her, because she look orange. Because that's the color that they look when they have Jaundice, okay? So, boom. I forgot about that little story, so I have to slide that in there. But, so now her Billy Ribbon is at 7, right? So they're like, okay, yesterday, okay, so they were telling me, like, if her Billy Ribbon come back low, she'd be able to get discharged. So I'm like, okay. Then, boom, that happened. They was like, no, we're going to keep her for another night. She can get discharged in the morning. So I'm like, okay. Yeah, as soon as Marquise came home, I said, we're going to the hospital at 8 o'clock. That's her first feeding. I said, we need to be there by, I said, no, I said, we need to be there by 8 o'clock. That's her first feeding. And I want to get there, while before the doctors, and do their rounds, because I want to hear what they got to say. So, boom, it's 8 o'clock. I'm doing her feeding, blah, blah, blah. 10 o'clock, they come and draw her blood. This is 10 a.m. They come and draw her blood for the bilirubin to see where it's at. At this time, we just playing the waiting game. So now it's about 12, maybe 1-ish in the afternoon. And we get the results back. No, it's later than that. It's about maybe 2, 3 o'clock. We finally got the results back. She was a 0.2, which is amazing. Without the lights, because they took her off the lights after she hit a 7. They took her off the lights to see how she would remain for the oh, that's the garbage can. I wonder why they didn't come yesterday. But to see how she do without the lights, and she did amazing. So she was at a 0.2, and then the doctors came up and talked to me. Was like, she looks amazing. She's doing fine. And I was just asking him, like, well, this little, the blood, thing that's going on with her having circles and it's being flat. I said, can I be an outpatient thing? Because, like, if that's something that we could do on the outside with her doctors and stuff like that, then I feel like if she's good, she could come home. So they're like, yeah, we're going to have her do it as an outpatient. We're not going to keep her in the NICU any longer. And that was the best feeling ever, to know that my daughter was coming home. And what else? This is going to be a long video, y'all, because this is like, this is a lot. So I got more videos I want to do, but I'm going to break them up. So, so we about to get ready, go. So the lady was like, go get the car seat. I'm about to get our discharge papers together. I'm like, okay. Go get the car seat. Y'all, tell me why. You know how, like, usually when you have a baby, they do the car seat check, which is like make sure that the baby fit and you got it properly in the car. They don't do that no more. You have to literally wait a whole hour, put the baby in a car seat, with her in the car seat for a whole hour, and make sure her oxygen level do not drop. If her oxygen level drop, then she can't go home. Hold on, y'all. I got this very important phone call. Hold on. All right, y'all. I'm sorry I had to take that phone call. But I lost my train of thought. I forgot where I was at. But I'm about to just go here. And everything is good with my daughter. Nothing is, alarming or have to watch out for. Another thing she did have was a tongue tie. I think it's like from under her tongue. It's like a little piece of skin. Her doctor office did that the other day. Oh, she had her first doctor's appointment, y'all, the other day. It was such an amazing experience. I'm talking about that in another video. But she had her first doctor's appointment, and then they snipped her tongue, little skin, extra skin that was on it. So now she's able to drink her milk without it, like, dripping out or whatever. What else? She has another appointment tomorrow. But other than that, my baby is healthy. She's home. I just want to thank God, my family, my supporters, everybody that, prayed through this whole pregnancy. Only thing I would say is when it comes to that castor oil, take it at your own risk, y'all. But I'm going to get into some more information about that castor oil and how I'm feeling afterwards. So, I will see you guys in the next video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time I post or drop a video. I will insert some pictures of my baby girl from when she was in the NICU, from when she got out the NICU. This video is going to be added to another video, so this video will be long, so just make sure you guys watch it fully through. Let's get to 1,000 subscribers. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you.